Hi, everyone. Welcome to WSOU. I'm Patrick. Today, we've got Torrential Rain's Chris on the other end. Chris, how you doing?
Hey man, I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. First things first. I know you guys are from Germany, but you're on tour right now. Where are you? Where are you calling me from today?
I'm calling actually from home, and we're currently not really playing shows right now. Um, so we're planning touring, especially in the US hopefully next year if we can make it. But right now in Germany and around Germany or Europe for the most part, it's kind of tough to get shows going right now. I don't know how's the situation in the US over there, but yeah, in Europe it's kind of tough to get normal shows on the road, and so we're not currently touring, but we're preparing new stuff, new songs. We're about to release another single next month in September, and that's what I've been doing today. That's why I have my sage tea here, because I was recording vocals all day, and I'm kind of sore now.
All right, great. You guys have a new single out. It's called "Why Do I Care." Now, this is your second
Exactly.
single of 2021, but you've been
Exactly.
releasing music all throughout 2020, throughout the pandemic. What has that been like for you guys?
It's definitely different for us because we were used to produce an album, then get that out, and then like promote it on tour, play shows, and we couldn't do that since last year. And that's when we were all like, okay, what can we do to stay relevant? You have to stay relevant somehow in these times. um, and so we said, okay, let's write a couple of songs, produce them really well, really concentrate, really focus on just one single at a time, and then get the music video or the lyric video or whatever we produced for it out there and promote it. And that's been working out great for us so far. Home Alone, the first single we recorded, we released it in about April, I think, 2020, which has a fitting title, Home Alone. Kind of exploded on Spotify, and that's what has been carrying us and motivating us for the last year and a half. Yeah, and it's been such an amazing time. We also have this weekly segment on our Instagram channel where we invite bands or different music people or whatever. We don't have really all that a specific type of person we invite to that thing, and then we just talk for an hour. It's called our torrential talk, and that's what's been getting us all throughout the pandemic season, so to say. Yeah, and so I can only say the last year and a half was really something different, but actually kind of successful for us in a way. So it's been a curse, but also kind of a blessing.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel like that. Now, do you what was the process of writing, recording, and producing music? Because I know some people they took to their bedrooms, they got their digital audio software, and people were forming bands when none of the members even lived in the same state, same region, same area. Did you guys go that route, or were you still in the studio?
Yeah, definitely, because I mean, your listeners can see it, but behind me, I've got my vocal booth lined up. And yeah, I'm recording everything from home. Studios were also closed. We couldn't do any live recordings or stuff anywhere else. So luckily, I have my home studio equipment all set up here. And that's what's been getting us through the pandemic. Um, we were just recording all our stuff here at my house. More specifically, I've been recording all the instruments and writing all this stuff because I've been more of or I am more of the creative guy in our band, and the other guys are doing social media, booking, and all the financing stuff and the boring aspects of being in a band. And I'm doing all the fun stuff, but also it's kind of tough because I have to record everything by myself. Luckily, none of the other guys hold a grudge for not being able to perform their own instruments on the tracks. Um, but it always goes something like this, because I write the song, I record everything like in a demo, and then I send it to the guys, and they kind of give me feedback and tell me what works and what doesn't, and what they like and what they don't like. And then we have this conversation about what I want to keep in. And, you know, there's always this kind of back and forth. And that's how our songs come together for the most part. And yeah, it I'm sending it back and forth with the guys a couple of times, and then at some point we have a finished version, and that's when I'm going all in, recording the thing, which takes me about a week for everything. Yeah, and I'm just locking myself into my home studio as much as possible and recording this stuff, and then it goes out to Christoph Wiekzurek, if you know him from his band And It's Okay. It's another German metalcore band, pretty big here. And he also has his own studio, and he does mixing and mastering and stuff. And yeah, that's how our songs get produced all throughout the pandemic. And I think we're gonna keep it that way, at least for 2022, where I'm kind of planning an album, but I'm not gonna go out of my way and spoil too much of it, because maybe I will not be able to finish an album in 2022. Yeah, so I'm not promising too much, but that's the plan. That's the plan for this year. For next year, we also have 2 more singles lined up for this year. Yeah, so it's a pretty busy schedule for me, at least.
Yeah. So can you elaborate on that a little bit? So I know you said the guys do the marketing and the finance, like you said, the boring aspects of the band, but you said you do most of the creative stuff. So is it you who records all the instruments on the studio versions?
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I should say, except for the drums, I can play drums, but I can't play drums that well. Our drummer Dario performs them on his electronic set. How do you call it? Electronic drum set. Yeah. And then we get that performance to the studio, and then get that reamped kind of, if you wanna call it that. Yeah. And that's how basically it works. Everything else I'm recording here by myself, guitars and bass, vocals, and programming for like synth stuff and orchestral and piano and whatnot. Is everything's done by me here. Yeah, and the other guys are, they're not just chilling about all the time. They also have stuff to do, like you just said, worrying about how we're gonna pay for the music video. How are we gonna promote the next single? Who should we write to do an interview, maybe, you know, because our manager Hannes talked to you in advance about the interview today. Yeah, and that's how our different aspects of the band life are distributed amongst us.
And has it been like that? Has it been like that for a while, or is that just during the pandemic, since lockdown kind of influenced a lot of that?
It actually has been only since the pandemic, because we had this conversation like late 2019, I think, start of 2020, about how we're going to go forward. What are our plans for the future? What are we going to do? Is there an album coming? Is there singles coming? What is there an EP? Or yeah, that's what we were talking about, and we set this whole plan in advance and talked about, yeah, okay, so we're going to release 4 singles for 2020. That means I'm going to be working all the time from home here in my studio, and that means we really want to get these singles out to the people, to the masses, and promote it as good as possible, and that's just not possible for one person alone. And so we really focused on what's everybody's special niche, you know, who can do that the best, and then kind of went from there. And you know, our Gordy, our second guitarist, is really structured, organized person. I myself, I'm definitely not a structured person and not organized at all, but he can do the whole business aspect of things. Yeah, Dominic's our bassist, and he's doing all of the social media stuff. And Dario, he's our financing guy, and he's keeping track of every the financial aspects of it. Yeah, so that's how everybody has their job, and everybody's busy all the time. And yeah, that works out great for us. I think a lot of bands really should get this, you know, how do you call it, distribution of jobs within the band down. so that not just one person does everything and the other guys are just along for the ride,
Right. Right. So yeah, that's definitely interesting. You don't hear a lot of the administration side of things being done by the band members themselves. That's usually outsourced to a manager or something. But that's awesome how you guys kind of take it all in.
Exactly, because we're not like a huge band, we're kind of small in the grand scheme of things, so we definitely have to do a lot of stuff on our own and have to do things a big band normally would outsource to a manager. But we also have a manager, but he is not getting paid that well to do all of it, so we have to do some aspects ourselves.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So you said you've mostly been playing the singles game throughout 2020 and 2021. Your newest single is "Why Do I Care?" And in my opinion, I think it sounds a little bit different from your singles over the past year in the sense that it seems a lot more bright, a lot more yeah, I think that's the word I'd use, a lot more bright, a lot more uplifting. I think. What was the inspiration for this song? I know you can walk me through it since it's all you.
Yeah, I've heard it described as happy core a couple of times, and yeah, it actually is a brighter song. It is more uplifting, and it's something we always try to do, at least for the singles we're releasing, because every new single is a chance for us to do something not entirely new. We're not reinventing the wheel here, but try out something different we haven't done before, and that's why Do I Care is like more of an uplifting song, has more of the poppy elements, which we haven't been using all too much in our singles that went beforehand. Yeah, and if you look at the single that came before Time, that's the single Time Will Tell, but if you look at the single before Why Do I Care, that's a completely different song. It's totally heavy. It's really technical. There's stuff happening on the guitar all the time. And yeah, that's something we want to do in every aspect, in every single we release, that we can do something new and different while not really doing something too different so it doesn't sound like us anymore, but yeah, just trying out different styles and different things, and maybe something sticks that we want to keep further down the line. And the new single just finished today will also be pretty different from the songs we have released so far. So there's something to look forward to. But yeah, that's how our songs are kind of written, at least the ones since 2020, to try out new stuff and to not repeat all our formula, so to speak, every time.
Right. So, do you think that's a benefit of doing mostly singles? Because I've heard a lot of artists say, when they're doing mostly albums, there's a lot of pressure to stick to one genre, one sound.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you guys, by doing mostly singles throughout the pandemic, you get to experiment a lot more, do a lot more reaching out of the box, stuff like that.
Oh, definitely, because if you listen to an album of a band and you maybe know one or two songs, you want to hear more of that kind of thing, And if it's too much, too many different aspects. How do you say it in English? Too many different influences and too many styles mixed in together in the album, it gets weird for the listener. It gets a little bit of irritating, and not everybody of who could have liked the album will like the album eventually. And yeah, definitely, if you release an album, you kind of have to stick to an overarching theme of where do I want to go with this. And if you're releasing singles all throughout the year, you can get a little bit more leeway with that kind of thing. And yeah, definitely, if we were about to release an album like next year or something like that, we definitely would go into a more streamlined direction. That sounds negative in a way. It's not negative. You have to focus on what you want to do and then get the best out of this. Yeah, but that's what I like about the singles thing. You can experiment, you can do something new, and if it's not the best thing ever and people don't like it, well, then it's just one song that people don't like and not a whole album.
That's a great way to think about it. Now, I want to talk about the music video because I think the music video kind of describes what we're talking about perfectly with different styles, different directions. I'll let you talk about the production and the inspiration, but I know that the first half of it, you guys are dressed up as a black metal band with the makeup and the black clothes and instruments, whole nine yards, and then the second half, you guys are like a glam metal kind of Poison Cinderella sort of thing, you know, which is stark contrast. Obviously, I want you to kind of walk me through what was the inspiration for that, what that means, what you're trying to say.
The inspiration for that came actually from the conversation we had starting to 2020 about where do we want to go? Do we have to maybe change an image? Is there something we had to do also with the manager side of things? Who's telling you, guys, you gotta think more business minded and stuff, you know? And obviously in the video it's all like kind of over the top, and but it's grounded in reality. There's some inspiration from there, and that's what we wanted to convey, because you always get told to like have an image, have that thing that people can relate to, and you know, pick a color and that's your color forever, or pick a certain style and then you're gonna drive that thing until, you know, that's what we don't like. And that's something we never really wanted to do, because we're always kind of four guys that make music, and that's just how we are. And we never wanted to pretend like we're something else. And that's where the inspiration for the video came from, to portray us in this way of having a manager talk us into performing as something else, which we are obviously not, and obviously are not comfortable with. Yeah. And then at the end of the video, after we're doing the whole black metal thing and after we're doing the whole glam thing, we see it's not working out the way we thought it would, and go back to our roots, and to just, guys, we just have to be true to ourselves and just be the people we are, be the person you really are. And that's, in my opinion, the best way to go about it. If you are in a band, if you do anything creative, if you get yourself out there, just be who you are. Don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to impersonate someone. And you're gonna live with that the most comfortably, in my opinion. And yeah, that's what the video conveys, hopefully. Yeah, but it was so much fun to shoot the video. Although I don't ever want to go back to getting my face painted in corpse paint. It was we were like 1.5 hours just to get everything on there, and then you have to put on the leather cloak and get on stage with all the lights and the flamethrowers going off left and right, and you were just sweating instantly, and it was so hard to keep a straight face on stage while doing the typical black metal expressions and stuff. But it was really fun. It was really fun, especially the glam part. I'm a big glam fan, and I really love the whole 80s classic rock thing. So that was a real enjoyable part for me to perform. Also because I didn't have to play guitar on stage, which is always kind of a bit, you can't really concentrate on how you perform that much if you have to play guitar at the same time, which I'm doing normally. But for the glam part, I could just rock the microphone, and that was really enjoyable for once. Yeah, but I think the video turned out quite nice, and I really would do it all again. It was so much fun. The guys that shot it, they were so amazingly talented. And shout outs to Christian Brauner and Michael Dorner for it. Yeah, and why do I care? The music video, if you haven't watched it, go ahead and watch it. It's a blast, in my opinion.
Yeah, I totally agree. Definitely recommend anyone who hasn't seen it to check it out. It looks a lot of fun. I know you guys were going nuts on social media talking about how you know, with the glam metal thing, you guys could do stick tricks and whipping your hair around and just go all out with it. That must have been nice.
It was really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about the gear that you've been using over the past year. You use, is it pronounced Aristide guitars?
That's a question you would have to ask Pascal from Aristides Guitars. I pronounce it,
Mhm.
but maybe so the CEO of Aristides Guitars is called Pascal, and maybe he would have a different opinion on that. But nobody really knows how it's pronounced. But yeah, we're playing Aristides Guitars for the most part. Um, Gordy, I actually got Gordy into the whole Aristides Guitars thing because I was fascinated by them and got the first one. And then he joined our band. And I was like, you have to get one of those guitars and you have to go with me up there to the crazy Dutch people and visit them in Holland. And yeah, we had a great time with them. And since then, I'm playing Aristides guitars exclusively.
Now, how long have you been using them?
For about I just got a thing on Facebook the other day about my first build I got with them. I think it's 4 years. I think it's 4 years that I've been using them, and I got the first guitar. Where is it? Here. The first guitar I've been getting by Aristides Guitar is a Blue Sparkle 6-string, and it's an amazing guitar. And all of the guitars are amazing. I could just recommend them if you can afford them. They're expensive, but it really is worth it. We're all gear nerds. We're all really particular if it comes to our instruments, and we really spend a lot more money than we should on our instruments. Yeah, but that's the whole fun for me in being a musician, playing on really nice instruments and really loving the feel of it, and it makes it much more enjoyable, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So you obviously play guitar. I mean, you just told me that you play all the instruments for your studio recordings, but I saw that you also, in addition to synths for the band, you also do like dance synths and club synths like that, in addition to your work.
I've had a couple of projects where I've been using synth stuff to dance songs, but nothing major. Nothing I would really have my name written on or something. Maybe I helped a local band or local guy out with some ideas or stuff like that. I'm doing electronic music stuff here and there. We've had an intro that's all electronic dance kind of thing for our album Transitions, and it's always fun. I really like to mix these kinds of things in with our music, and it's always nice to just break away from the whole metal and guitars and heavy drums and all that kind of stuff, and just get into the more dance vibe thing. Yeah, but I don't have like a particular dance project for myself. Maybe in the future, who knows?
Yeah, no, I just thought it was interesting when I checked out your social media, saw you doing some electronic stuff in addition to your stuff with.
Yeah, that's that's the thing, because I'm always jamming around and always uploading loading stuff, and maybe it gets onto a Rain song. Maybe it gets used between songs in a live situation. Maybe we can like throw it in there, but for the most part I'm just doing it for fun. And I record everything, and if it gets used for something in the future, that's cool. But if not, then I still had fun.
Yeah, that's definitely cool. So what can we expect from Torrential Rain moving forward? I know you just said you finished up a single. What you have in mind moving forward? Is it more singles? Is it an album? If things open up, will we see some live shows maybe?
So like I said, in September we're going to release the third single for 2021, and like at the end of the year we're obviously going to release the fourth single. That's also something pretty special, if everything works the way I want it to. And then at the end of the year, which we hadn't had the chance to last year, but at the end of the year, we always do this kind of Christmas special thingy, and that's what I'm looking for to this year. Hopefully, we can pandemic wise do it. If everything works out, like I said, in Germany, it's pretty tough to get a lot of people in a room right now. But maybe around Christmas it's better, hopefully. Yeah, but in 2022 we should be able to do an album, hopefully. That's my plan. Maybe, yeah, I hope 2022. In the worst, how do you say it? In the worst situation, it's going to be 2023. But that's what I will be working towards in the next year. Just writing a bunch of songs, analyzing the stuff that worked best in the last 2 years, and getting as much material as possible together to write an album.
Yeah, that's definitely awesome. Well, Chris, thank you so much for sitting down with me. This has been awesome. I wish you and your band the best of luck moving forward. Torrential Rain, definitely make sure you check them out. Check out Why Do I Care, their new single and their music video. It's all totally killer stuff. Anything else you want to say?
Well, thank you so much, man, for having me. And yeah, you just said it. I hope I conducted myself in an appropriate manner. It's always a bit tough to explain all the thoughts you have inside your head in another language. But yeah, it was so much fun. I hope we can do this sometime again. And yeah, all the best to you. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having us. And for everybody listening, if you like it, consider giving us a like on our socials, or visit us on YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, wherever you want to go. And yeah, show us some love. That would be awesome.
All right, Chris, thank you very much.